In the last episode, we learned how to set up a new project when we want to create a website, and we also learned how to create a new page inside the website. So in this episode, I'd like to talk a bit more about the tags that we created in the previous episode and the different types of tags that we have inside HTML. So when it comes to tags inside HTML, we also call these HTML elements, and when it comes to elements, we have two different types. We have regular HTML elements, and then we also have empty elements. Now in the previous episode, we talked about opening and closing tags, and these are in fact the regular HTML elements we have inside HTML. In some cases, we also have empty elements, which are tags that does not have a closing tag, like the meta tag we created in the previous episode, which had information regarding the characters we want to use inside the website. So as you guys can see, when it comes to HTML, we have tags that has opening and closing tags, and tags that doesn't have closing tags. Now, if you guys were to ask me, well, how can we tell which ones need and doesn't need a closing tag? Well, it's just one of those things you learn along the way as you start programming HTML. And there's not really a way for me to teach you guys which one doesn't need a closing tag before we actually start using them inside our lessons here. So in the previous episode, we also talked a bit about the different tags that we used inside the front page of our website here, which is called index.html. So as you guys can see in the previous episode, we created a pair of HTML tags, which basically says that all the content that goes in between these tags will be part of the HTML document. We can actually go and move this out, which is a tip that I recommend for you guys, so we can actually see the hierarchy inside the website. So whenever we have stuff going inside a pair of tags, like the HTML tags, then we want to move out the content once by clicking tab, so we can actually see that this goes in between these two tags here. And as you guys can see, I did actually do the same in the previous episode inside the head tags, where we moved out the title tag and the meta tag because they go inside the head tag. And just to refresh it for you guys in case you forgot, the head tag has information in it that we don't actually visibly see inside the page when we do actually open up the website inside the browser, such as the title of the website, which pops up inside the tab at the top. We also have meta information, which is information regarding the website that we don't actually see inside the website, such as which character type we want to use. We also have links that goes to other documents in case we want to include a style sheet, which is actually where we can design all the elements we have inside the body tag down here. And the body tag is actually what defines what actually needs to be seen inside the website. So all the content we put in between the body tags will in fact pop up inside the website and be visible. So as you guys can see, if we were to actually go back to the website, we do actually have hello world because I wrote it inside the body tag. Now, when it comes to these HTML elements, we have quite a few of them inside HTML. We're not going to cover all of them in this episode. We're just going to cover the ones we have here, and then maybe just a couple more just to show you guys some examples. But when it comes to HTML elements, we also have something called attributes. And we actually used an attribute in the previous episode up here inside the meta element. As you guys can see, we included a char set, which is equal to some kind of value, which means that we have an attribute called char set, which is basically just a way to add extra information inside these tags, which we then use for different things, such as, let's say I want to add extra functionality to this tag here, then I can actually go ahead and add extra attributes to it. So let's actually go ahead and go down inside the body tag and create another tag called a paragraph tag. Now, a paragraph tag is the proper way for us to actually insert text inside the website. So the paragraph tag we create by just writing P and then tab. And then as you guys can see, we get the shortcut for the paragraph tags inside HTML. So inside these tags, we can actually go ahead and say something like hello world, or this is text or something else. And then if you go back inside the browser and refresh the browser, you guys can see that the styling, or at least the design, slightly changed when I clicked the refresh button. And that's because right now, because browsers have default styling when it comes to some tags, like the paragraph tags, it might change the design when you insert tags around the content. So what we can do is we can actually go back inside the file, and I can go inside the paragraph tag, at least inside the opening tag, and then include a couple of attributes if I want to. So I can actually go and give it something called a title, which is equal to double quotes. And then I could say something like, this is some website content. Then if I were to actually save this, go inside the browser, refresh, and then hover my mouse cursor on top of the text, you guys can see we get some text inside a little pop-up that says this is some website content. So the attribute tag just simply adds extra information or extra functionality inside the website. Now, to give you guys an example of this, let's say I want to style this text. I can actually go and use something called a style attribute inside the paragraph tag. So I'm going to say style is equal to double quotes. And then I can actually start creating CSS code inside the style tag here. So if I want to change the color of the text, I can say color, colon, red, semicolon, save it. then go inside my browser, you guys can see that now the text turns red. So just to show you guys a couple examples of attributes inside HTML, these are some of them that we could actually use, and there's quite a few attributes inside HTML, but we're just going to go ahead and focus on these two in this episode. Now, as we do actually move on these lessons here, we'll actually talk more about attributes and HTML elements that you will need to use inside a website, such as a menu or a title inside your website, but we're going to go ahead and talk more about these tags a few episodes from now. So this is basically what I wanted to show you guys in this episode. In the next episode, we're going to talk more about how to insert text inside a website. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.